What's up, pals? It's your boy Al, pal. I hope everybody's doing well today because we're going to be talking about why I fell in love with Monster Hunter. So first things first, I feel like we've got to, kind of just talk about some things, make some comparisons before we get into the whole, why I fell in love with this game type of thing. So, first of all, I love RPG games, right? There's nothing better in my opinion. I like FPS, don't get me wrong, like Doom, games like that. Hell, even Overwatch is fun every once in a while, but nothing compares to RPG for me because I like the ability to create my own, character as I play through a game and kind of level them up and do all of that fun stuff that is usually associated with games like that. It's a pretty big aspect for me. It's something that I really enjoy about those games. However, I do have an issue with those. And that issue is that, they're a little too, I want to say linear in how you progress, right? Like, once you're set into a specific build in these games, like Fallout, like Dark Souls 1, probably Dark Souls 2, I haven't played that in a hot minute. Probably even Cyberpunk, which I haven't touched in a couple of weeks now. Skyrim, the list goes on, right? Like, all of these games, once you're locked into a specific build, if you don't, continue and focus on the skill sets that are associated with that build, then you're just kind of like, you're too spread out. You're not gonna be powerful enough at the end game to do anything worthwhile. And then on the other side of it, you're spending the entire game focusing on just a few skills so that you're maximizing the value that you get out of it. And this is where Monster Hunter really just kind of wrapped me up in its big burly arms and said, "I've got you, buddy." So, and this is why I love Monster Hunter, for all intents and purposes. I have the flexibility to play the way I want and how I want, with what I want, at any point in the game, right? Because, more or less, Monster Hunter is an RPG, but the leveling system is completely different, right? Like, the games I just rattled off have a leveling system. Once you spend points for that system, you don't get those points back. There's not really a leveling system here. It's really more or less about fighting tougher monsters, getting better gear, and going about your business that way, which is a system that I find unique and one that I enjoy quite a bit. I don't know, really. I don't even know where to begin with something like this because it's completely new territory. I haven't played any of the other Monster Hunter games. I dabbled with the demo for Rise, but that's the newest one. That's not the older ones. I'm sure they all kind of function in a similar fashion as Monster Hunter World to some degree, but it's that flexibility that I enjoy. For example, on Dark Souls 3, now Dark Souls 3 is a little bit of an exception to this because you do have the option to kind of go and like reallocate your stats and stuff. You get a limited amount anyway, which is kind of ridiculous if you ask me. But basically, I have a plethora of different characters on that game so that I have different styles of play should I feel like, going through and doing like New Game Plus, or whatever I want to play in PvP, like I have that option there. But that's getting them to level 120 in Dark Souls 3 is playing majority of the game and then some. Just to, and then on top of that, you have to find a weapon or purchase a weapon, get lucky enough to have it drop, just for you to have the build tip-top. You don't have to do anything else after that, but that's a lot of work you have to do just to get to that point where you're like, okay, this is my PvP and PvE character. I can go do this. There is some leeway in Dark Souls 3, but then again, you only get a set number, and I think right now on Dark Souls 3 I've got at least 10 characters. They all do something different, which is exciting, but it was obviously a time sink, right? So, enough rambling about Dark Souls 3, because we're not here to talk about Dark Souls 3, alright? We're here to talk about Monster Hunter. It's so freaking awesome. I came to the party late, right? I got Monster Hunter World just in October of 2020, which if you do the math is like maybe 6 months ago, almost 6 months ago, 5 months maybe, I don't know. It's been a while, but not as long as anyone else has had this game. But back to this whole system, right? It's awesome. Okay, I like the fact that I don't have to start a new character just to play something else or do a different play style. Now, obviously, you know, there's a lot of time that can go into farming for the armor and the weapon that you want to use, you know, like that's obviously a big part of the game, but that's not like playing through an entire story's worth of the game just for you to get to that point. Like, oh yeah, I did it. What do I want to do? Why do I want to do this anymore? Type of thing. And obviously there are some flaws to this system, especially in Iceborne. I've noticed it's really hard to get an optimal build. Like, you know, it's one thing to farm for the materials from a specific monster, but it's another thing to have to farm for those decorations. And if I'm being honest, all of the level 3 threats are, my investigations anyway, have been kind of whack. I've only ever gotten like a couple so far that have been decent enough to where I'm like, okay, this is a possibility. I can go do this. But aside from that, I like the ability to switch from, say, I don't know, having builds put together for something specific, and then say, you know what, I feel like playing the hunting horn, and I go and rock some monster's piece with a musical hammer, or, you know, I'm like, I feel like being a weeb today. I'll pull out the longsword and I'll rock house with the longsword. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind looking like a weeb, but I digress. It's awesome. I can choose what I want, you know. Maybe I want to really smash some skulls, so I'll go grab the hammer. Or if I just want to be an all-around badass, I'll play Charge Blade. And if you don't know, what I just did right there was tell you what my favorite weapons in the game were, without really like having to spend, you know, 20 minutes doing so. But that's the idea, right? That's the point, is that I don't have to have a million different characters on this game. I just need one, and I need to go farm the stuff to do this. And honestly, I don't mind, because it means I don't have to play through the story again. It means I don't have to get stuck at certain parts. Not that there are any parts in the base game or Iceborne at this point that are really difficult. If anything, I'm going to say that's difficult is Fatalis, and I think he's supposed to be anyway. But regardless, okay, this game is fantastic. I enjoy the unique, you know, like progression system, I should say, in this game, because it does take away a lot of the, I guess I would say, frustration. Not necessarily time sink. This is still a grindy game, and I have no problem with grindy games. You're talking to somebody who played, what's that game called? No Man's Sky. I probably put like a good 50 or 60 hours into No Man's Sky, which is a lot for me, because that game is nothing but grinding. This isn't. This is better. Fighting monsters all the time. There's no, like, you don't have to fight like chumps. You can if you want to, but for the most part, you're hunting monsters who, in their own right, you could see them as like a boss. Every hunt you go out on is a boss. I like fighting bosses. That's one of my favorite parts of Dark Souls, is getting to a boss and getting my, you know, getting rocked for like the first 10 tries and then turning around and pulling it out of my ass, being like, oh my god, I fucking did it, you know. But I mean, Monster Hunter is not exactly the same. I wouldn't say that all of the monsters are difficult. There are some that are just outrageous, but I still enjoy the game quite a bit. And it's a bummer, right? Like, we're about to get Rise, and I guess I'm just gonna have to keep chugging at this until I can get that game. But World has been fantastic. I don't know if there's much else I can say about it. I really don't have any issues with the game, other than, you know, like the ridiculous RNG for decos. But I mean, I'm only like 500 hours in. I imagine once I get to a certain point, I'll probably start getting the things that I need. And that's not to say that even though like I've played through most of it, I still have to fight Fatalis. But that's not to say that I'm done with it. I've been watching speedruns and stuff. I think that's something I would be interested in trying at least. Obviously, I have to work towards those optimal builds and stuff for that, but it's something that I've been considering. In fact, I just tried that on my stream today, which if you would be so kind, you could go check me out. It's al_pal751 .twitch, or it's Twitch. Just go look up alpal751. You'll find me, I swear. I play a lot of Monster Hunter World over there. That's my plug for my Twitch. That's the only one I'm going to do here. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here, get out of your hair. Just keep posted. You come check it out. I don't know if that really makes sense. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. You can leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite part about Monster Hunter World is, or Monster Hunter in general if you've had the pleasure of playing all of the other games. I'd really like to hear your opinion about that. But that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Be kind, be safe, spread the love. We'll talk to you later. Peace.